And welcome my friend, and then I am planning to give you information that how to replace this Mercedes-Benz E-Class W212 cabin air filter. And this job is good to do annually, and when we replace that filter we can then drive with fresh air. And these filters we can purchase in Mercedes-Benz dealership center or then in internet, eBay and Amazon.com. Okay, and let's go to look at how to open this part cabin air filter, and there are a couple of tricks. And firstly we have to choose right tools and how we can open those bolts and screws in this area. Let's look that thing first. There is really 3 of these kind of dog's head screws, and now I install 2 of those in here, and we have to open these screws, and for that opening we need now dog's head drill pipe, what size is T25. This is the key, and I use these electric drill pipes, and let's look closer at this tool. This tool opening is actually the most difficult part of this cabin air filter replace, because these screws, this is very abnormal screw head pipe, and this screws position is also in difficult because we have to install this our tool in just in right position in the screws. But let's go to look at how this opening happens. But firstly we have to purchase this dog's head drill pipe. Then when we are opening this cabin air filter cover, we need also, and actually it is really useful if we have a mirror, this left side tool, and then extra light, because the screws are in this upper area and they are in difficult position. But let's go to look those screws. Then I like to show you that what we are opening. There is this cover what I have already take out, and there are these screw positions in these holes, and when we look in these holes now it is easy to open, but let's look closer. Now this cover is in here demonstration purpose, and normally in these holes we can see these are screws, and next my purpose is to open these screws what are in these holes in this way. Now it is easy to open when we can see these, but soon when we go in this area where this cover is, this is this cabin air filters, this cover, we have difficulties to find these screws, and this is the difficult part. In this position these are easy, even in that way little bit difficulties, because there is this, because now it seems that hey, this is really easy. But let's look when we are in different position, when this cover is in here, and let's go to look. Okay, and now we are in this position, and this cover is really in here. Now I rotate that in another position. This cover, it is in here, look. When it's in this position in here, now it's much difficult to open, and soon I install that back that we can see that how difficult this is to take away. Now when we are looking that where are those screws, now we can see that they are in here. They are very hidden, and there is this this passenger side area where we keep our food, and feed in here, and then when we look in here, there is 1, 2 and 3 screws what we have to open, and before of that we have to take this mattress in that area. We have to install this like in this service position in this way, because this part comes out in here, but before of that we have to open these screws. And now I take this my screwdriver, and now as you can see this is very difficult to look, and that's if we have mirror that we look that mirror, we can see those screws easier when we use that mirror in that way. This mirror is really useful that we can see that there is first screw position, then second, and then third in here. And now I have to take 1 screw away. There is 1 screw what I have to open, and it happens so that I install my tool in here, and this is even quite difficult to see that in what position I installed my tool. But when I try many times, I can open this. And now I open these bolts because this is really difficult to see those that I have to focus. But soon they are open. So I am opening these screws, and if we have electric driver, these screws opens easier, but soon when I rotate that I can take it out. This is really opening direction in that way, and soon my screw is free. Then remember that these screws are a little bit stuck in here and they don't drop normally, and that's we have to open all of these screws that this cover opens. Sometimes these screws drop down, but like in that case it is like in this, now it drops down. But remember that they are a little bit stuck. Now I am using this my mirror that I can see these screws easier, because this is not so easy to see. But when we take this time, this take about 10 to 20 minutes that we open these screws in here. And now when I have removed 1, 2 and 3 screws, now this part finally, when I install in here, this cover opens little by little, and like in here we can see that 1 screw is in still position, but this drops and that drops. And now I take this screw away. It is in here, and then this cover, there is 1 temperature sensor, and when I press this temperature sensor is, and there is not much cable, and when I press this one side, this part opens. Yes, 1 part, 1 side, very small temperature sensor, and inside in here there is temperature sensor. And then I can take this cover out. This is now free. Good. And then we can look the next part. This is this air, this white part. This is this cabin air filters, this lock system, and I have to move now this little bit, this white element, and it can be stuck, but in my case it moves little by little in this way, and then this filter drops down, like in my case. Okay, there is filter. Now note that this filter, it goes in their one position. Now it drops down, and there is this arrow. Remember that, look, your arrow, and this arrow means that this filter goes in this area. Let's look at how it goes in this hole. There is this hole, and this goes only in one way, that way. And now when I install back, then I have to slip and move. Firstly I have to press that up and then move this white thing in here. And this is a little bit difficult because I need both hands, and this is like stuck now. Now I managed to move that, good, but in final way, now it's locked. And look, this arrow in here, this area, there is this arrow, and now I open that again. And now filter drops down, and then really we need new filter element. And I always recommend these original filters and what we can purchase from Mercedes dealership center. And then this is really nice big cabin air filter, and there is even my type and when this has been manufactured. Okay, and this my filter looks quite okay. It is not too dusty. I can still use this, but I recommend that we purchase and replace this filter annually. And now when I install this filter back, firstly I check this arrow, and arrow goes in this engine area, and there is this, and this goes only one way. And now when it's up, then I have to slip this white part, and this is difficult thing because it moves, and now it's in position. And then we have to install this cover back. When we install this cover back, first thing is this temperature sensor in here, this part, and this is short because we have to save cable. This is short, and that's I have to just install this my cover in up position, and then I press that in down. It keeps click sound. And this is really this automatic, this temperature control in our cabin area. And then next step is that this cover goes in this down area. There is hole in there very far away, this area, and that part must go in this hole. Let's look in that area. And I have to move this my cover in totally so deep that it goes in that inner areas, this end part. Now we can see. Look this area in here. That now this area. Now it's in position. Now it's wrong. Now when I move the keeper in here, now this is in right. Okay. And then I only check that this cover screws, these holes are in right position. And remember that this takes time. It is not easy job. And then we only check that these screw things, there are those points, holes, they match in these holes in here. Okay, and there is that hole what match in this up this area. Okay, and next I install this my screws in position. Also that I use this my mirror, then when I rotate that, these screws goes nicely in there. And it is good to keep hand in here, but now this first screw is in position. Good. And we have to check that this area is in here. Look, that one. And then this area, in here it is in this way, and then this back area, it looks like that. Check that one also. Okay, good. And then these are screws, first, second and third. Now I install 2 of those also in there, and if there is difficulties to install the screws, please check that you have this right position. But this is also, it takes a little bit time to install this screw in there. Let's continue. Then if we have difficulties to find these screws, it is good to use this mirror, and then we can see these up areas screws easier. Mirror helps a lot this job. Okay. Now cover is back, and then final step is to look that everything is in plane, and then I install this my mattress, floor mattress back in this way, and now mattress is in back also in there. And now this cabin air filter replace is ready, and as we can see, it takes time, but when we have light and especially this mirror, this is not so complex job, and please enjoy, my friend, and in that way you can annually do that service in your Mercedes-Benz car. Thank you.